Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. I have a problem, and his name is Joseph Grenny. I mean, look at it. He's got this huge smile. That must be like, 3 feet, 4 feet across? He's got this larger-than-life, charismatic personality, and he is smart as a whip. A while back, I was sitting across the table from Joseph Grenny, and we were talking about a high-stakes project. He threw out a suggestion, which my initial reaction was, not a good idea. It sounds a little convoluted. It's going to be a little too time or resource intensive. I just don't think we can pull it off. All right? So that's what I'm thinking. This is a crucial moment here, right? I want you to put yourself in my shoes. Are you going to disagree with this mountain of charisma? If you're like me, the answer is no, right? So I say, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. Let's go with that. All right? Fast forward a couple months, the project does fall apart, fails, for all the reasons I had predicted in my mind. In that crucial moment, I behaved horribly. I didn't speak up. I didn't say what I thought. Now, we talk about the idea of safety in crucial conversations. What I want to suggest is, in that moment, when I did such a horrible job, safety was not the issue. Safety was not the issue, all right? What I want to explore is another possibility. What could be going on here? If you ever talked with Joseph Grenny, you know he's a master at creating mutual purpose, mutual respect. I feel safe when I speak with him. So what could it be? I want to introduce you to a man by the name of Ben to explore this idea of what may have been happening here. So on the count of 3, what I want you to do is vote on your fingers. Would you like to work with this guy, Ben, based on the characteristics you see up on the screen, okay? So 1, no, you would not like to work with him. 10, you would very much like to work with him. You'd be eager to do so, okay? So on the count of 3, cast your votes anywhere between 1 and 10. 1, 2, 3, vote. Okay, I see a 1, a 2, a 5, a 10, a 7, a 1, 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me gather all this data, crunch it. It looks like we're about 5.423. Does that seem about right? Okay, good. So what about Alan? Would you like to work with Alan? All right, so count of 3. Vote on your fingers, 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, go, vote. I see 5, 3, 1, 5, 2, 3, okay. Crunching data, looks like we're at about a 4.75. All right, so we like Ben more than we like Alan. Now, I surveyed about 271 people and found similar results. People preferred working with Ben than they did Alan. Now, if you compare the lists, if I give you enough time to do so, what do you notice about the list here? It's the same. It's the same, just reversed order, right? Reversed order. So some of you may have seen that. Some of you may have been had a stronger preference for Ben. What's going on here? What's going on here? If we like Ben more, yet they have the same set of characteristics, what could be going on here? I want to suggest that our brain is taking a shortcut. It looks at the first couple of characteristics, makes a shortcut, makes a judgment about these people based on a couple characteristics, and it moves on. We like Ben because we see these first couple of characteristics better. Our brain does a fantastic job at this. Right? It's a machine for making shortcuts. It's a machine for making shortcuts. And it's this ability to do so blesses our lives in a variety of areas, but it can also curse us when stakes are high and errors can cause problems. This ability to create shortcuts. One of the shortcuts we talk about in crucial conversations is the villain story. We draw negative conclusions about another person. That creates strong emotions, and those strong emotions lead us to lead to poor actions and poor results, right? What I want to do is talk about the opposite end of the spectrum, not our negative stories, but our positive stories. Could our positive stories also be leading to problems, to poor results? That's what I want to talk about. All right, so back in the 1920s, a researcher by the name of Edward Thorndike, he did some interesting research in the military. He was looking at performance reviews. What he found was that if a commanding officer gave a high rating to a soldier in one area, say intelligence, he would then proceed to give a high rating across the board to that soldier. These were really high correlations. He would also be smart, and he would be loyal, he would be kind, and he would be a good leader, right? If a prominent characteristic was given to him, he would mark that soldier high marks across the board. He called this the halo effect, this idea, this propensity, this bias where we focus on a couple positive characteristics, and that colors our view of this person in a more general way. It's the halo effect. So, could this halo effect be causing us problems? And I would suggest that it does in a variety of areas. Why don't you think about hiring? If someone comes in, they're intelligent and they're charismatic, sometimes we conclude they're also going to be detail-oriented and collaborative. It influences our promotions, right? If someone wears the halo of stellar technical skills, we may also conclude that they're going to be good at managing people. Does it always work that way? No, their halo is affecting our judgment. This can happen in the realm of idea sharing. If someone is an expert in one category, we may overvalue their suggestions in an unrelated topic. This happens even in the realm of purchasing products. If you have a celebrity with charisma and talent, they endorse a product, we may buy a product that we may otherwise not think is such a good idea. This works sometimes it doesn't work so well. All right? Any soccer fans out there? Ronaldo, here we go. All right. So back to Joseph Grenny. I'm sitting there across the table from Joseph, and he throws out a suggestion, right? Initially, I think this is not a good idea, but I end up acquiescing. Right? I say, okay, let's go with it. What's going on here? I'm suggesting this is not a safety issue. What I want to suggest is, in that moment, I'm actually convinced by his suggestion. I think it's a good idea. And why is that? Is it based on the merit of the suggestion itself? No. It's based on the fact that it came from Joseph Grenny's mouth. That big, huge smile we see up on the screen, right? It's based on the fact that he's a New York Times bestselling author, co-founder of our organization. He's got that big smile, charismatic personality, and is smart as a whip. So I think his suggestion is probably the best one. His suggestion is probably the way to go. I'm convinced in that moment his halo affects my judgment. He's in the meeting there just shining brightly, has this halo. And you know what? I'm in the meeting blinded by the light. To quote a song that's way before my time. That wasn't a jab. It was a joke.